Hey guys, how's it going? So this video is actually going to be a little bit different. What this is going to be is you're actually going to be taking notes since I'm not here today. So what I need you to do, your notebooks need to be out. Tomorrow I'm going to check to make sure that you have all of these notes down, so make sure that you're going along as I'm going along too. For some of these problems, I'll have you do them on your own, and then I'll go over them. So just pause the video if that is the case. So let's get started. So today we're talking about percents. So basically what percents are, you've all seen them all over the place. They're part to whole ratios when the whole is out of 100. So if we have something like 60%, that is going to be 60 out of 100. So all of your percents are out of 100. Think about the word cent and percent. There are 100 percents in there's 100 cents in a dollar, which would be why it makes sense that a percent is out of 100. So go ahead and write this definition down, and I'm going to move on. You can pause it if you need some more time. So here we're going to be writing these percents as fractions. So the first percent that we have is 35%. So as a fraction, that's just going to be 35 out of 100. For these, we do not need to simplify unless I tell you. So I didn't tell you, so you're good there. 5%. Oop, hold on one second. All right, I think I'm back. So 5% is then 5 out of 100. And 174% would be 174 out of 100. So for all of these, we're literally just taking the number that we see and putting it over 100 since all percents are out of 100. So make sure that all of this is down in your notes. I'll move on, but again, if you need time, go ahead and pause me. So number 5 says write these fractions as percents. So we need to do the backwards thing now. So we've already written them out of 100, but we know in order for something to be a percent, it has to be out of 100. Right now I have 30 out of 50. So to make that out of 100, I need to multiply by 2, because that would make the bottom 100. So I have 60 out of 100, and then my final answer would be 60%. Now for this next one, I have 4 out of 25. To make 25 100, I need to multiply by 4. So my final answer here would be 16 out of 100, but I need to write it as percent, so I have 16%. And then there's 5 out of 20. To make a 20 on 100, I need to multiply by 5. Multiply by 5, so we're going to have 25 out of 100. Same thing as 25%. So the key here is just remember the percents are out of 100, so at the bottom is not 100, you need to make it 100 by multiplying or dividing. Make sure this is all down in your notebooks, and then move on once you have it all copied. All right, so this says a drought affects 9 out of the 12 Midwestern states. So I know that 9 out of 12 is probably important since those are my numbers in the problem. What percent, so I know that I'm finding percent of Midwestern states are affected by the drought. So I have 9 out of 12 here. Now I need to find a percent. Now the thing about this is that I can't multiply or divide 12 to get into 100 very easily. That's a little bit more difficult. So a lot like on your tests when I tell you to find your percentage, that's what we're going to do here. But remember, a little formula to figure that out is we do top divided by bottom times 100. Okay, so I'm going to take the top, divide it by the bottom, and then at the end multiply by 100. So 12 can't go into 9, so that's a 0. Add a little decimal spot, add a bunch of zeros here. 12 goes into 90. Let's see. 8 times would be 96, so 7 times, that would be 84. Subtract, you get 6, bring down your 0. 12 goes into 65 times, and I'm done there. That's 0. So I have 0.75 times 100. Whenever you multiply something times 100, you can just move the decimal spot 2 points to the right. So then my final answer would be 75% of the states. So looking back on this, whenever we cannot get 100 very easily on the bottom, like we couldn't with 12, you can just do top divided by bottom times 100, and then that will give you the percentage. All right, so I want you guys to try these two, and then I will go over them. So pause the video right now. All right, so here's my answer to it. 224%, we need to write it as a fraction or mixed number. Remember, I should see in your notes that you are trying all of these because I'll be checking your notes tomorrow. So if I have 224%, I know that's the same thing as 224 out of 100. So it wants me to go in simplest form, so I need to make sure I keep that in mind. So I think, what can I take out of both of these? I know I can take a 2 out. That would be 112 out of 50. Then I know I can take another 2 out of there. Oops. Let's see. What did I do? Let me go ahead and write that I took 2 out. And then I'm going to take another 2 out, which means I'm going to be at, I'm going to move over here so I have some room. So 112 divided by 2, that is going to be 56 out of 25. I can take, let's see, the only things that go into 5 are 1, obviously, 5. Let's see, 6. I think that is as low as I can go. So then I ask myself, how many times does 25 go into 56? It goes in 2 times, and I have 6 over 25 left over. Let's make sure I can't simplify that anymore. What goes into 6 is 3. 3 does not go into 25, so this is going to be my final answer. Then over here I have 0.4. This point is very important because that means I actually have 0.4 out of 100. So now I'm going to figure out what I can take out. I can take out a 2. 0.4 divided by 2. So half of 0.4 is 0.2. And then I figure out what else I can take out of there. So 2 and 50, I can take another 2 out. So now I have 0.1 over 25. And then here's the thing. You cannot leave it like this because this is actually not a fraction. So, actually, fraction or mixed number in simplest form. So what you need to do is you need to get this point out of there, right? We don't want that point in there. So how we're going to get that point out of there is actually pretty interesting. So actually, I take that back. For this one, we can just leave it like this because we can't take anything more out of the top. So we're just going to have 0.1 divided by 25. All right. So this one says describe the error. So I want you guys to try this, write it down in your notebooks, then we'll go over the answer. All right, so the problem here is that instead of taking it out of 100, they took it out of 1,000. You always, I want you to write this in your notebooks. Actually, you're gonna write this instead. Put a little star and say percents are always out of 100. So here they took it out of 1,000, should have been 100. All right, so this says write a fraction as or mixed number as a percent. So now we're going the other way. I want you guys to try these on your own. Then I will go over the answers with you. So our first one's 2 out of 25. To make that 100, I need to multiply by 4 on both sides. This is going to be 8 out of 100. Same thing as 8%. That's our final answer there. Here we have a mixed number. So I'm going to change it first to an improper fraction. So I got to do my C method. 20 times 1 is 20 plus 17 is 37. So I have 37 out of 20. To make 20 out of 100, I need to multiply by 5 here. Multiply by 5 here. So it's going to be out of 100 now. Let's see. 37 times 5. You could do it in your notebooks if you had to. It's 185 out of 100. So it's 185%. Is my final answer. All right, here's another error analysis. I want you guys to do this one on your own first. All right, so it looks like they did their work right because they multiplied by 4 to get it out of 100, which is perfect. I don't like how they use the x's to use dots, but that's not the problem here. The problem is that they wrote their percent, they put this little decimal in front. You don't need that decimal. The reason why you're making this 100 is so that this won't be a decimal. So their answer should have been 56%. Yeah, so that's all we're going to put there, is that their answer should have been 56%. All right. Here's another question. Write down the situation, then we will go over the answer together. So it says, of the students in your class, 12% are left-handed. That's probably important, so I'm going to highlight it. What fraction of students are left-handed? Or fraction. Are there more right-handed or left-handed students? Explain. So we have 12% of our class is left-handed. What fraction of students are left-handed? So we need to change this 12% to a fraction, so I know that 12% is 12 out of 100. If I take 2 out from both, now I'm going to go off with 6 out of 50. And if I take another 2 out, I'm going to 3 out of 25. And then I know that's as far as I can go. So this is the fraction of students that are left-handed. So are there more right-handed or left-handed students? Explain. So I would say that there are more right-handed. And you can write down your reasoning. My reasoning is because if there's 3 out of 25 people that are left-handed, that means that the other 22, because 22 plus 3 is out of 25, would have to be right-handed. So there are definitely more right-handed students in the class. All right, let's see here. We're actually going to do 12 as a warm-up tomorrow on Friday. So I want you to keep it until then. Make sure that all these notes are written down in your notebook. Like I said, on tomorrow I'm going to be walking around to see if you have all the notes in your notebook. If you do, you get your points. If you don't, you don't. So make sure you are going through this. What you are going to do next is you're going to work on your pink tile station project. So make sure that you're working on that for the rest of the class, and I hope to hear a good sub report. I will see you guys Friday.